We're at Ready to Wear Fall 2011, looking at upcoming trends for fashion. And who best to talk to than Fashion Group International experts? I'm Lauren Reeves with CHIC.TV.
Let's go!
Let's talk about the presentation today. What exactly are we seeing?
We're seeing an overview of the runway trends from New York, London, Milan, and Paris.
And now, our picks as the clothes and accessories most likely to make it from the runway to reality. Plaid, Burberry Person. Puffers, Tacoon. Colored fur, Michael Kors.
With the committee that I work with, a committee composed of both retailers and press, we meet in each city and we discuss the trends and we try to put them in perspective.
I've actually been involved with Fashion Group International for quite some time and know Marylou for many years. We're not only great friends, but certainly compadres in the industry.
Python, Missoni. Dots, Lynn Devon.
What we're loving for the fall season, all the shades of Bordeaux, wine and rose, is really a continuation of that Saint Laurent color palette that was very important on the spring runways. And then, of course, the idea of the return of ladylike chic. It's interesting, this whole polish that's returned to fashion.
Color, Red Alert, Chateau Raffucci. Capes, Yoli. Sleeves, Dries Van Noten.
And of course the handheld handbag, because it's all about that ladylike polish that looks so right for the coming season ahead.
Well, I've actually known Marylou for 8 million years, back when I was an assistant on the editorial side in fashion magazines, and she has followed my career, and I was actually a former Rising Star winner for Fashion Group International when I started my business, Kirna, Zabete, with my best friend.
Lace, Jason Wu. Tuxedos, Ralph Lauren.
Fall was such a great season. There were so many wonderful things out there. I mean, I think one of the biggest news items is the new length, which, we saw a lot of long for spring, and we've seen this new mid-calf length, and it really stuck around and resonated. So I think that's really exciting and interesting and certainly challenging, and, gives us a lot of different ways to wear it.
Anyone in fashion or anyone in New York who's interested in fashion knows about Fashion Group and is involved in some capacity.
Gold, Aquilano Raimondi. Pleats, Tracy Reese.
For me, color is always a fabulous trend. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know it from looking at me today, but I love color. So I love Jill Sander. I love Celine. So I love a combination of the chic, ladylike simplicity, but also bright, bold colors and bold shapes that we see at Jill Sander.
With beauty, what was really interesting this season is that it's been a really playful hair season. So in the past, there's been so much focus on makeup, but makeup really becomes secondary to hair, because with hair, there's a lot of playful highlights and extensions in like crazy colors, in like teals and reds and silvers and lavenders, where you've really never seen that before.
Oversized, Stella McCartney. Patterned pants, Provenza Schooler.
And then makeup went sort of two directions. It was either really bare skin, I mean, by no means no makeup, because there was a lot of foundation and there was certainly a lot of contouring, but it didn't look like a really done face. And then on the other end of that, there were looks that provided like pops of color.
Techno fabrics, Marc Jacobs. The single sole pump, Chanel. The structured bag, Donna Karan.
There are a lot of wonderful trends for fall. One of the most interesting to me is the notion of sort of shushed up sportswear. Sportswear, especially in the American market, it has such a deep and strong history, but now we're seeing it really go looks and really go sort of street but dressed up. We saw it at Alex Wang, we saw it at a number of places, and it's a very, very exciting way to reinterpret the classics. I think it's going to be very, very strong.
Pencil skirt, Preen. The shift dress, Calvin Klein.
We've also seen things like, for example, a lot of pattern, a lot of some bold things. Pattern pants, it'll be interesting to see if that works. It's a great accent, but there were a lot of them. Dots were very, very important. The two most obvious representatives were Marc Jacobs and Prada. And I think it's a flamboyant. There's a flamboyance to wearing dots. But so they tended to keep the shapes, sort of simple, but very, very strong. this is an oxymoron, but a subtle flamboyance to some of the upcoming fall clothes, which will be very exciting to see.